incident occurred back on November the 4th of last year. There was, and it takes a little bit of background there. I'll tell you on the front end, one of the person who's charged with the actual murder is not coming for a bond hearing this week, but all 5 of them, including the shooter, are documented gang members. I have a duty to tell that to the court as part of Governor Haley's bond bill. Also, right before this happened, and it doesn't apply to, nobody's been charged with anything, but about a couple weeks before this happened, Odell Williams, who was first of all a very upstanding citizen, he was a city council member, he was an ex-police officer. He has 3 children, all of whom are present in the building, and a wife who, while they had not lived together for some time, they remained married and continued to have a relationship. She lived, the wife, adjacent to a shop that Odell Williams had, a concrete business. From the driveway of that shop, if you look across through the woods, there was a house over there. It was 963 Holmes Road. A couple weeks before this happened, that house had just been shot all up. Nobody was arrested, nothing was ever done about it. A few days later, something happened with the shooter. That obviously does not apply to this defendant. But immediately before this incident, and one of the people in this scenario of the 5 has given a detailed statement of law. He states that what happened was all five of them boarded a truck, armed themselves very heavily. All of them had guns. The shooter had an assault rifle. They had gone to park at this Odell Williams concrete shop just out of happenstance because they could see over to that house. They had exited the vehicle, it was right at sundown, had exited the vehicle, gone across through the woods to this 963 Holmes Road location, which all the investigation and law enforcement's knowledge is that that's a rival gang house. These individuals are documented with Roundtree Circle, that's a 10-floor Power house. They'd gone over there with the intention, from what the person who gave the statement said, with the intention of committing armed robbery. Once they got over there, no one was home, they came back with the truck. At some point in time, during the course of all that, Miss Williams comes out of her driveway to go to the store. She says, oh my goodness, there are these people. Mr. Williams had problems at his shop, not saying any of these people had ever been involved with it. But she did call him and say, there's a car parked in your shop, you might want to come check this out, which he did. He came up, she left, went on to the store. Mr. Williams, the victim, came in, and these individuals were all back at the car at this time, saw him come in. They pulled out, and the victim followed him for some period of time, at which point one of the individuals in the car, who is the shooter, whirled out of the car and came to rest in the street, ran across the street, and basically lay in wait for the victim to come around the corner of his car and just open fire on him. What happened after that, this defendant, Mr. Dixon, and another defendant, Mr. Roseberg, who you'll hear from shortly, came back together with the shooter. Mr. Dixon, during the course of the pursuit around Chester, while the victim was following their car, they saw Dixon's girlfriend somewhere. She gives a statement too. They saw her, and they said she ended up giving them a ride, coming and picking them up, and taking all 3 of them together, including the shooter, somewhere. And that's where the accessory after the fact situation stems from. Many of them were not arrested until a week or 2 later.
But I mean, what are you saying he did? What is
that he helped the guy get away. That's basically what he did. They came back together. He knew he had shot him. He knew he had killed him, and he helped him get away.
Okay.
And,
Your Honor, just a brief pause. I certainly understand the entire thing. What I believe Ms. Hall left out of that fact pattern is that the victim actually, I believe, fired at this vehicle first. 2 shots, maybe 3 shots, and that my client, according to all accounts, was...
And I understand that, and I hate to cut you off, and I hate to interrupt, but what I need everybody to know is this is not a trial. And we're not going to determine guilt or innocence. All I know is that the South Carolina Constitution entitles every person charged with a crime to a reasonable bond, except in certain extenuating circumstances.